It hangs in our sky, a familiar and constant companion, the sun. For billions of years, it has been the engine of our world, the great giver of life. Its light travels across the vast emptiness of space, arriving on Earth to warm our lands and stir our oceans. This warmth allows life to begin, to flourish, to evolve into the breathtaking complexity we see all around us. Every blade of grass, every creature of the deep, every beat of our own hearts is powered by this distant celestial fire. It is the ultimate source of all the energy we have ever known, a benevolent creator painting our world in hues of green and blue. But this familiar star has another face. It is a face of unimaginable power and unpredictable fury. The same energy that nurtures life can also unleash destruction on a planetary scale. It is a cosmic giant, and we on our small blue world are subject to its ever-changing moods. We have built our civilizations in its light, assuming its constancy, its gentle nature. Yet we often forget that the sun is not a gentle lamp, but a churning, violent nuclear furnace. Its calm appearance is a magnificent illusion, hiding a chaotic power that could, in a moment, remind us of our delicate place in the cosmos. This duality, this nature of both creator and destroyer, is the sun's greatest secret. It is a story written in light and shadow, in warmth and in devastating fire. We see its life-giving smile every morning as it rises, chasing away the darkness of the night, but we rarely consider its potential for wrath, a power far greater than any we could ever imagine. The sun gives us our daily bread, but it also holds the power to burn the fields. It is a perfect, terrifying balance. We exist in the gentle zone of its grace, a grace that is not guaranteed to last forever. And so, we must look at our star with new eyes, not just as a source of comfort, but as a force of nature that commands our deepest respect and perhaps a little of our fear. Its beauty is matched only by its potential for violence. It is the parent of our solar system, capable of both gentle nurture and stern, fiery discipline. Understanding this dual nature is key to understanding our own existence. We are children of the sun, living by its rules, basking in its glory, and forever vulnerable to its immense, untamable power. Deep beneath the green hills of Wales, men toiled in the dark. They were miners, their world one of rock, coal, and the flickering light of their lamps. The air was thick with the dust of the earth and a dangerous, invisible gas. They worked day after day in a place far from the sun's warm rays. They trusted the solid earth above them to keep them safe. They could not have known that the danger on this day would not come from the ground beneath their feet, but from a silent, invisible force that had traveled 93 million miles through the vacuum of space. Suddenly a great and terrible thing happened. The darkness of the mines was shattered by a brilliant, violent flash. An enormous explosion tore through the tunnels, a blast of fire and force that no one could have predicted. The very air, thick with flammable gas, had ignited. But what was the source of this spark? There was no mistake, no human error. The miners' safety lamps were secure. The cause was something far more mysterious, something utterly beyond their comprehension. It was a force that had reached down from the sky and into the very depths of the earth. The event was a profound mystery. Investigators were baffled. How could a mine, sealed deep underground, erupt in flames with no apparent trigger? The answer was found not in the earth, but in the sky. On that very day, astronomers had witnessed a colossal storm on the surface of the sun. A vast and brilliant eruption, a solar flare of incredible magnitude, had burst forth from our star. This event was so powerful that it had sent a wave of energy and magnetic particles hurtling across the solar system directly towards our planet. This wave of solar energy had washed over the Earth, inducing powerful electrical currents in the planet's own magnetic field. These currents were strong enough to surge through any long metal conductors, including the telegraph wires that ran down into the mines. The wires, designed to carry tiny signals, were suddenly overloaded with a powerful surge of celestial electricity. A single fatal spark leapt from the equipment. In that moment, the sun, our distant, life-giving star, had reached into the underworld and unleashed a devastating fire. It was a terrifying demonstration of its hidden power. For our ancient ancestors, who lived their lives under the open sky, the sun was no mere ball of gas. It was a deity, a powerful being that held their very existence in its hands. In ancient Egypt, it was known as Ra, the creator of all things. Each morning, he was born in the east, sailing his golden boat across the sky, bringing light and warmth to the world. He was the king of the gods, the father of humanity. People built vast temples in his honor, their lives governed by his daily journey. His rising was a promise of life, his setting a descent into the darkness of the underworld. But Ra, like the sun itself, had a dual nature. He was a creator, but he could also be a fearsome punisher. The myths tell of a time when humanity rebelled against him. In his anger, Ra sent forth his daughter, the fierce goddess Sekhmet, as his avenging eye. The eye of Ra descended upon the land as a lioness, a being of pure destruction, to punish the ungrateful. She was the personification of the sun's scorching, destructive heat. She represented drought, famine, and plague, the terrible power of the sun when its life-giving warmth turns to a deadly, burning rage. This story of the Eye of Ra reveals a profound understanding of our star. The ancient Egyptians knew that the same power which allowed their crops to grow along the Nile could also scorch the earth and bring famine. They saw the sun as a divine ruler who demanded respect. Its creative and destructive powers were two sides of the same coin, a perfect balance of cosmic justice. They worshipped its life-giving aspect while living in healthy fear of its potential for wrath. Their entire cosmology was built around this delicate relationship with their powerful and sometimes vengeful solar god. This balance is seen in mythologies all over the world. The sun is often a powerful king, a warrior, or a creator god. But it is always a force to be respected and often to be feared. These ancient stories were not just simple tales. They were humanity's first attempt to understand the immense power that governs our world. They recognized, long before the age of science, that the source of all life was also a source of immense and terrifying power. They knew in their bones that we live by the sun's grace alone. So what is this destructive power that our ancestors feared and modern science now seeks to understand? The sun's surface is not a calm, steady fire. It is a turbulent sea of superheated gas, a plasma tangled in immense magnetic fields. These magnetic fields are like colossal invisible rubber bands, storing vast amounts of energy. Sometimes, these magnetic lines twist and strain under immense pressure. When they finally snap and reconnect, they release their stored energy in a single explosive burst. This is what we call a solar flare. A solar flare is one of the most violent events in our solar system. In a matter of minutes, it can release the energy of millions of hydrogen bombs. This eruption unleashes a blinding flash of radiation that travels outwards at the speed of light. If a flare is aimed towards Earth, this intense radiation reaches us in just over 8 minutes. It can disrupt radio communications and pose a danger to astronauts in space who are outside the protection of Earth's atmosphere. It is the first swift blow from a solar storm, a warning shot across the bow of our planet. Often, accompanying a solar flare is an even more colossal event, a coronal mass ejection, or CME. Imagine the sun's outer atmosphere, its corona, suddenly belching out a gigantic bubble of magnetized gas. This bubble can contain billions of tons of solar material, all traveling outwards at millions of miles per hour. A CME is not a flash of light, but a physical cloud of matter, a solar hurricane racing through space. It is slower than a flare, taking 1 to 3 days to cross the distance to Earth, giving us a brief window to prepare. When this great cloud of solar plasma finally reaches our planet, it collides with Earth's magnetic field, the magnetosphere. This invisible shield normally protects us from the constant stream of solar wind. But a powerful CME can compress and contort our shield like a mighty hand squeezing a soft ball. This interaction transfers enormous energy into our planet's magnetic system. It is this energy that can wreak havoc on our modern world, a world that has become deeply dependent on technologies that are exquisitely vulnerable to the sun's fiery breath. History is filled with records of the sun's awesome power. The most legendary of these events is the Carrington Event of 1859. In late August of that year, the astronomer Richard Carrington was observing the sun when he witnessed 2 patches of intensely brilliant white light erupt from a group of sunspots. He had seen a solar flare. Just over 17 hours later, the accompanying CME slammed into Earth. The resulting geomagnetic storm was the most powerful in recorded history. Its effects were immediate and dramatic, a glimpse into a world turned upside sod by solar power. Around the globe, the newly established telegraph systems went haywire. Sparks flew from the telegraph machines, shocking operators and setting paper ablaze. The currents induced by the storm were so powerful that some operators disconnected their batteries and found they could still send messages, powered only by the electricity from the sky. Auroras, the beautiful northern and southern lights, were seen all over the world. They were so bright that people in the Rocky Mountains woke up in the middle of the night, thinking it was dawn. Gold miners began to prepare their breakfast. A more recent, and perhaps more telling, event occurred in March of 1989. A powerful solar storm struck the Earth, much less intense than the Carrington event, but aimed directly at North America. The storm's energy surged into the power grid of Quebec, Canada. The complex system of transformers and circuits was not designed to handle this kind of direct current from space. In less than 2 minutes, safety systems tripped across the province. The entire Quebec power grid collapsed, plunging 6 million people into a blackout that lasted for 12 hours. These events are stark reminders of our vulnerability. In 1859, the worst that happened was the disruption of a simple telegraph network. In 1989, a city was paralyzed. The storm caused chaos for power grids, communications satellites, and even the Toronto Stock Exchange, which suffered a trading halt due to computer problems. It was a clear demonstration that as our technology becomes more sophisticated, our vulnerability to the sun's moods only increases. The heavens had roared, and our modern world was shown to be surprisingly fragile. It is fascinating to compare the explanations of our ancestors with our modern scientific understanding. The ancient Egyptians saw the sun's wrath in the form of a vengeful goddess, the Eye of Ra. She was a divine force sent to punish humanity. This was their way of making sense of a power they could not measure, but could certainly feel. The scorching heat of a drought was not a random meteorological event. It was a sign of divine displeasure. The myth provided a reason, a narrative, and a sense of order to the terrifying and unpredictable aspects of their world. Today, science offers a different kind of explanation. We speak not of gods and goddesses, but of magnetism, plasma, and radiation. We understand that a solar flare is not an act of anger, but a physical process of magnetic reconnection. A coronal mass ejection is not a divine punishment, but a release of matter governed by the laws of physics. We can measure the speed of the solar wind, analyze the composition of the plasma, and model how it will interact with our planet's magnetosphere. Our explanation is one of cause and effect, of predictable, if immensely complex, physical processes. Yet, are these two explanations truly so different in their essence? The Eye of Ra was a personification of the sun's destructive power, a story created to foster respect and awe for a force that could bring life or death. Our scientific models, in their own way, do the same. They describe a power so immense that it is difficult to comprehend, a power that can disable satellites, black out cities, and poses a fundamental risk to our way of life. Both the myth and the science lead to the same conclusion. The sun is a force of unimaginable magnitude that must be taken seriously. The language has changed, from gods to Gauss, from myths to magnetism, but the core message remains the same. Whether we see the sun's outburst as the rage of a celestial lioness or as a charge of energetic particles, we are acknowledging a power far greater than ourselves. The ancient myths were humanity's first scientific theories, attempts to explain the world around them, and our modern science, in its own way, continues to tell the same epic story, the tale of our small, fragile world and its relationship with a mighty, powerful, and sometimes fearsome star. The world of Richard Carrington in 1859 was a world of steam and iron. A massive solar storm was a curiosity, a spectacle, and a minor inconvenience for a few telegraph operators. Today our world is fundamentally different. We live in a civilization built on electricity and invisible information. Our lives are woven into a global network of satellites, undersea cables, power grids, and computer systems. This intricate web of technology is the backbone of our modern existence, and it is dangerously vulnerable to the sun's power. Imagine a storm on the scale of the Carrington Event striking the Earth today. The consequences would be catastrophic. The first victims would be our satellites. The intense radiation and charged particles would fry their sensitive electronics, rendering them useless. This would mean an immediate loss of global positioning systems, which guide everything from aeroplanes and ships to the delivery van on your street. Global communications would collapse. Television, weather forecasting, and international financial transactions would all cease in an instant. We would be thrown back into a world of disconnected continents. On the ground, the situation would be even more dire. The powerful geomagnetic currents would surge into our high-voltage power grids. Transformers, the hearts of our electrical systems, would overheat and melt. This would not be a simple blackout like the one in Quebec, which could be fixed in hours. This would be permanent damage on a continental scale, requiring the replacement of massive custom-built equipment that takes months or even years to manufacture and install. Entire nations could be left without power for an extended period. Without electricity, our modern world would grind to a halt. There would be no clean water pumped to our homes. No refrigeration for food or medicine, no petrol pumps, no electronic banking, no lights, no internet. It would be a cascade of failures, a societal collapse triggered not by war or pandemic, but by a silent, invisible storm from our own star. We have, without fully realizing it, built a fragile paradise of technology directly in the path of a cosmic hurricane. The sun, our creator, now has the power to unmake our creation. And so we find ourselves in a remarkable position. We have unraveled many of the sun's secrets. We have sent probes to fly through its atmosphere. We have studied its light in minute detail. And we can now predict, with some accuracy, when a storm might be heading our way. We have a deeper understanding of our star than any generation before us. This knowledge gives us a chance to prepare, to harden our grids, to shield our satellites, and to protect our fragile technological civilization from the worst of its fury. Yet, for all our knowledge, we are ultimately powerless to stop the sun itself. We cannot tame its magnetic fields or prevent a single flare from erupting. We are observers, not controllers. We can only watch and wait and hope to be ready. The sun will continue to burn for another 5 billion years, a vast and indifferent engine of creation and destruction. It will have its seasons of calm and its ages of fury, following cycles that began long before life on Earth and will continue long after we are gone. This realization should not fill us with despair, but with a profound sense of awe. We are privileged to live in the light of such a magnificent object. Its existence is what makes our own possible. The life-giving warmth we feel on our skin is a gift from a nuclear furnace of unimaginable scale. The beauty of a sunrise, the energy in a blade of grass, the very atoms in our bodies were forged in the heart of stars like our sun. We are, in the most literal sense, children of the cosmos, born from stardust and sustained by starlight. As we look up at the sun, let us remember its dual nature. Let us be grateful for the life it gives, but also respectful of the power it wields. It is the heart of our solar system, its steady beat dictating the rhythm of our world. It is our creator, our protector, and our constant, silent threat. It is a reminder of the raw, untamable power of the universe, a power that we are a small but wondrous part of. The sun does not care for our existence, and yet its existence is everything to us.